right. Let's see. Are you guys able to hear us, the chat? I know it's like a bit acting weird because I keep clicking off of it.
People in the chat are still saying it's muted, but
it might be
it might be
just
good now.
Yeah, the latency.
Just wait till people confirm. Okay, someone said sound. Okay, that means we're live now.
All right, nice.
All right.
Cool,
all right.
Let me pull one more thing up and then I'm ready to go. All right. Ready to go when you guys are.
Cool. Take it away.
All right. So, hello everyone. Hopefully everything is working fine on the stream. Just let me know if there's any issues. But today we're going to be doing another live Q&A with Alex and was it Locard?
Locard.
Locard. All right. Our abstract Alex and Locard. You guys can leave your questions in the chat and we'll be reading them. Any questions you have towards like the game or anything in that ballpark. And from time to time we might be dropping codes, so you guys should definitely be on the lookout for that. Let's see. All right. So, do we want to wait a little bit more, or do we just start?
No, go for it.
All right.
Start with the questions, and then we'll jump into the community ones.
Okay. So a question I had for like the last stream that I didn't get to ask was that could we ever see like PvP be expanded? I was thinking like since how it works with dueling, if you're in a party, it's sort of like a 2v2 situation. And I was thinking like, well, could we see that in a full-fledged like sort of game mode for PvP where it'd be like team deathmatch or capture like a flag or something along those lines?
I think we could. Big issue we had that is finally fixed is the exploiting. So that made it really hard to do anything competitive, as we saw with guild leaderboards. So now that we have that ironed out a lot more, it's still, there's always going to be ways, like every MMO is going to run into this.
Yeah.
But I think we can add it. So just the other day we were talking about having like side quests in the PvP arena. And so I could see us doing things where it splits people up into two teams and then they do PvP. So it's less of just like a social arena and more of like actual game modes. Because you can just duel anyone anywhere.
Yeah.
I think a while ago we were actually talking about this, and or just PvP game modes in general. And I was writing up the code for different things to happen within the arena, but we just never got around to doing it. So it's definitely been in our roadmap for a while, or at least we want to do something like this because it's definitely fun. Like capture the flag, team deathmatch, just like general PvP. It's really fun.
Yeah, definitely. We got a super chat. So I play the game a lot, and I have over 1,000 accessories. Every time I try to get into a game, I crash. I'd love for you to fix that. I didn't know this issue.
Interesting. Yeah, we can look into that.
Yeah, we can look into it.
Wait, speaking with accessories, I was thinking, or a question that a lot of people had was, could we see them like stackable so that they're not sort of cluttering the inventory a lot?
I think we could do something like that. It's tricky because we don't make equipable items stackable. But we could maybe look at doing something like that. It's also tricky if they have like dyes that don't match.
Yeah.
So that's something we can look into. Just making sure the inventory space expands is a huge thing. Like with that 1,000 accessory person just told us, we need to make sure that you can actually have a lot of accessories. So yeah, we'll definitely look into ways of cleaning that up more.
All right.
Sure, sorting it better.
Someone asks, will Halloween event items become tradable or sellable?
Oh yeah, we can definitely do that. We'll probably get that out next week.
Okay. Another question that I have here is actually from Sister Guard. They were wondering if we'll get any more free mounts or any quests that'll be for free mounts in the future.
It's possible. Right now, like people definitely want mounts, and we know that as well. Like they're obviously one of the coolest items. So with guilds, we're starting to give some of those out, but more like general mounts, kind of like the Boarwolf mount.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be cool to do as long as they're behind other quests. I think like killing 1,000 mobs is not the most exciting way of doing it, so we'd probably want to make it more exciting when we do that.
All right, all right. Um, Another big question I have. I'm not sure if I asked this already. I feel like I did, but I was wondering about like UGC sort of being added into World Zero, so like people can create their own outfits or hats and submit it to you. Since I do see a lot of times that people have like concept art of like outfits that they like to see in the game.
Yeah, Austin, you want to take that one? Because I think we're already doing something similar to that soon.
Um, I'm gonna be honest. I was reading the chat.
Oh yeah, okay, but for yeah, for UGC stuff, we want to start with hair and faces, so just getting more of those into the game, and then we could look at expanding that into accessories and such after. Um, I don't know if we'll ever just add like dozens of accessories. We
Hmm.
could maybe do that, but it'll get like really cluttered really fast is the only issue there. So definitely something interesting. I know other people have suggested outfits before, saving outfits and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we're definitely looking at ways to make it more of like a cosmetic based game rather than just like RPGs.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, there's a question in chat about the Phoenix mount if that will ever become tradable.
Um, yeah. So, or Alex, did you want to take the floor on that one actually?
I think we could make the guild rewards end up being tradable. Um, I think our plan there is usually we'll give it a season, and then once the rewards for the next season go out, we'll make the previous season's rewards tradable so
Hmm.
that they have like a season of exclusivity.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had basically a big discussion on this on like, did we want to make them tradable in the first place? But other people do kind of want these things that we give out, especially if they're like in a low number, such as like the Phoenix mount, or because like there's only like what, 25 times or no, 10 times 50 members, so about 500 of those out in existence right now. So
Yeah.
like people want these things and they'd make great tradable items. So we have to teeter on like whether we want this to be exclusive or not. And so yeah, we're thinking about basically just making it like locked behind a season and then we make it tradable.
Okay. Um, Another question I had was, could we see like a feature where we could actually save outfits? So instead of having to go back and like look through your accessories and see what you have, could we like save our outfits and then just like swap back and forth instantly?
I think we can definitely do that. We just need to make it easy to actually save between them. And then once we figure that out, we can even do like outfit sharing or stuff like that, or outfit contests, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely want to add outfits because we just have so many accessories now.
Okay. All right. Um, Let me see. Do we have any chance we could get the old Will of the Wisp staff? What is that?
Oh, there's an old staff called Will o' the Wisp. Although
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's not available anymore. I thought that was one of the tier fives from World 3 or something like that.
I I guess
I
I have no
can
idea.
I can check to make sure it's in the game, but if it's not and for a reason, then maybe we'll re-add it back. Otherwise, we'll just we'll just add it.
um, Someone asks, will we be seeing the angel set items ever revert back to how they looked in the trailer? Did they look different?
They did look
Yeah,
different. Or go
yeah,
for
we
it,
had
Alex.
like PBR reflective textures on them,
Mm-hmm.
and they they looked a lot different than the rest of the game, but they also didn't match. And so basically any gear that we were going to release after it would have to be using those types of textures or they wouldn't look as cool. And so we kind of just decided to keep the art style consistent and not use like PBR textures when we haven't used it for the whole rest of the game.
Mm. Uh, Someone asked, Let me go back to it. Uh, wow, the chat. I might need to up the slow mo a little bit. Oh, are there any rough estimates for the drop rates coming? Or like, not drop rates. The upcoming like zero weapons. Any like estimated date that might come out?
Yeah, those are gonna come out on Friday. That's our plan.
Ooh, all right.
So that'll come out with I don't know if we figured out the dates that the winter event and battle pass are gonna go live yet, but yeah, definitely we'll have zero weapons coming out this Friday.
So someone asks, will it ever be possible to change your class during a dungeon?
Probably not because that you'd be able to switch to like a healer class if you needed it or something.
Hmm.
So it's better to have your party set before going into the dungeon.
Yeah.
There's also health differences, like base health differences between classes. Like a healer is expected to have lesser health than a different class.
Hmm.
So people could kind of abuse this a little bit by switching to a stronger class, maybe getting a bit more of a health bump there, and then switching back, and they could actually heal based on something like this.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's a bit of a system error to kind of do something like that.
Yeah, one thing I noticed the other day we were playing a nightmare dungeon and we had to retry it because we got killed really fast. And then when we were retrying it, there was no way to switch out my class or pets at all without going back to town. So it made me think maybe we can do something where before the mission gate gets started, you can switch your gear or something or switch your class, and then once the countdown finishes, then you're locked in. Something
All
like
right.
that we might be able to do.
Someone asks, is there any new ideas or changes for the perk system on gears and pets?
Um, The perk system, not recently, but the zero weapon system is probably gonna make perks interesting, I guess we'll say.
Hmm. Someone's asking where to be a katana class.
Maybe in the future. Yeah, for classes, we're gonna go in the order of whatever people want the most or think is the coolest.
Hmm.
And then a big thing with classes is we have to make brand new equipment for the whole game. So we have to make katanas from level 1 to 100.
Yeah.
So that's like 7 tier 5s, tier 4s, tier 3s, and all that. So adding new weapon types takes longer. What we want to do is make some classes that reuse the current weapon types as well. So like a spear and a sword class, we could add pretty quickly,
Yeah.
and then it would use just like existing spears and swords in the game, and then we would just have to make all the skills.
All right. Real quick, is one of you able to add the codes in? I'm having difficulties on my end trying to get them.
Sure.
Okay.
Just
Thanks.
paste them in the chat.
Yeah. Just copy and paste one in the chat.
All
Um,
right. First code's out.
let's see here. Let me scroll up a little bit. Someone's asking, have you ever thought about adding a Chinese New Year event?
Honestly, we haven't. The game is live in China as of this year, though, so that's something that we might want to look into, especially as we're just expanding. And we're
Hmm.
also getting the game localized into a lot of different languages, which should be coming out at least for some languages before the end of the year. And then that's been community people that we've been paying to help us translate that.
Yeah.
So if you're ever looking to help us translate the game into a language that it's not in right now, talk to Coffee or Boldy the Boulder, I think his tag is right now.
Speak about like localizing it. How was like the process for that? Was it like really simple, or were there like some bumps you had to get over?
Oh, there was a whole fun part when it came to localization because when we started the game, we had to use basically tags, and these tags
Mm,
would point to like the English, I guess, way of saying this.
yeah.
So like Grave Tower, it would have like Grave Tower underscore raid or something like that. But now Roblox actually released something like auto localization, which is they'll basically scrape through the game, find any text tags that are there, and then just translate them for you. But there are some, uh, it's a bit of an issue trying to switch between the two systems where we had tags and then they auto scrape it, and it's a
Mm,
bit of, it's just troublesome, but we're working with it pretty well, I'd say.
okay. Someone asks, can we have two back slots for accessories?
Ooh,
Hmm.
that does sound kind of fun. Put on like a backpack and then maybe a set of wings or something if
Yeah.
you wanna. Yeah, I think something like that would be doable. We just have to be a bit clean with it because we don't want to bloat up the UI where it gets a bit confusing. But I mean, we can design something around that.
Someone asks, any ideas on reworking the tier 2 classes?
We have like a lot of classes that we just want to rework. So kind of just yes, we want to rework them all, and I don't quite know when we're gonna get around to it. Kind of a mix of adding new classes versus fixing up the old ones.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the situation there.
Someone asks, what classes do you guys prefer using?
Oh,
I like the dual wielder because
Hmm.
you get to keep every kill you get. It keeps the combo streak going. So I find that one really fun.
I'm a Berserker fan. I really like hard hitting attacks, even if they're just a bit slow. They're just really powerful and really fun for me.
Hmm. Um, let's see. Oh, people are just sending codes invalid. That's because the codes are, was it like a one-time use, and whoever gets it first basically
Hmm.
claims it. So if the code says that it's invalid, basically someone beat you to it.
Have
Uh,
we given the second one yet?
oh yeah,
I'll do
let
that
me
right
grab
now.
that.
Or do you want to do it, Takeaway?
Sure.
Uh, it's
Or
a bit
Alex,
hard
or
for me to
anything?
do it because it won't let me copy it exactly, and it's like having
Oh,
issues. Yeah.
okay.
Let's see.
Alex pasted it. Nice.
Hmm.
Oh wait, what is this? Is it? I think someone's asking, is it possible in the future that we could see a feature where we could like combine items? So like, for example, you could have the stats of a level 100, but you can have the appearance of a level 50, or like different. I guess it would just give you different. What is it, like cosmetic options?
Yeah, we've thought about that. It's like transmogging, a lot of games call it.
Yeah.
And then um, that's something we'll look at doing. We're also thinking about weapon accessories as well. So we'd probably do that before transmogging. Because right now you can get any, especially with Nightmare Dungeons now, you can get any piece of gear at level 100.
Mm-hmm.
So the only real thing that would be tricky is to get the exact perks you want on it. Um, so stay tuned for zero weapons.
uh, Someone asks, will we see like new classes coming next year?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely. We got a whole plan around that actually. I
Mm.
don't know how much Alex wants me to say, so I'll let him say anything he wants on that.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead with like the more advanced classes that we talked about in the last stream. So not quite sure all the details around that, but then we're gonna release those. Yeah, definitely like I would say January is probably our goal to get those out.
Someone asks, is there plans to add more wearable items such as boots or rings that would give you sort of a, I guess, perk or a boost?
We have to be careful with all the boosts because basically we had this issue with tier 5 pets and it gets to a point where all of your perks are giving you like 2 to 3 times your base stats. And then for a player who doesn't have any of those perks yet, it basically becomes you can have a level 100 player
Hmm.
and another 100 player where one player is 3 times as strong as the other.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the big concern there because you can already get, armor with a perk and then your weapon with a perk, and then those already stack up to be pretty strong. So it just kind of becomes a balancing nightmare, adding more and more bonuses and perks on top of things. Another part of that is that if we wanted you to have 5 equipable things with tier 5 perks, let's say, we would need to go back and lower the other tier 5 perks so that it's kind of more balanced to spread out across all the items. So yeah, no plans to really add more items that give stats, but just to keep doing things with the current items.
Hmm. Let's see. A lot of people are asking, why did you nerf the black butterfly? I guess the
Oh,
black hole.
yeah, so Black Hole and I think Black Hole Pumpkin. These were unintentional nerfs. This was just a bit of a caveat to how we programmed our new anti-exploit on the server side for any hits that we do. We'll definitely look into be fixing this.
Someone asks, could we, I guess, get like, what is it? Exclusive VIP like auras or uh, pets? I guess they're asking for just more to be added with VIP.
Probably not, just since VIP already gives like a nice XP bonus. If we ever do titles or something like that, we could do a VIP title. It already
Mm.
makes your name gold. So I don't think there's plans right now to add more to that. No.
Someone asks, will there be a higher level cap or a new world?
No higher level cap, but I saw someone in the chat guess it, and then we're thinking of doing prestige levels.
Hmm.
So this would also tie into the advanced classes as well. So once you hit level 100, you'd be able to go back, but then unlock like a really advanced class. So that's kind of what we're looking at doing right now, along with maybe changing up how the name tag is represented to show how many times you've gone through, just so that right now, like once you hit 100, you can't keep getting XP, and that kind of sucks. So we want to fix that.
Someone asks, is there an update on the raid game mode?
Raids. Yeah, we haven't done too much on that recently. We were talking about doing a 10-player raid, where you can get guild points from.
Hmm.
So we're still thinking about that for sure. Just not sure how we want to do it. We could do something where like it cycles out a dungeon that's 10 players. Mainly just thinking about getting big parties into this, is the other part of that. So yeah, we still really want to do it. Raids where you fight like lots of bosses at once. We make it really hard. It's just not going to be, not this year, but probably sometime in early next year.
Someone asks, any chance increasing or removing the timer on nightmare difficulty for dungeons? They said they ran into several. What is it? They ran into several people, and I guess can't seem to finish it in time.
Yeah, we do plan on looking into the balancing of some of these nightmare dungeons that people are having a really tough time completing. We actually experienced one last night, I think. We were playing 2-3 Nightmare, and it was really challenging. We did not pass it at all. So yeah, definitely looking into the balancing there.
Let's see. Someone asks, are you guys going to delete the exploited limited costumes? I'm not sure what that is. Oh,
The exploit limited
I guess it.
costumes.
I guess it's like when like the cash shop items or the crystals were on sale for like 1 Robux all that while ago.
Oh, I see. It's really case by case basis for us. If we find someone used like an exploit like that or a dupe exploit, then we'll try to just ban that account or delete the items. But it's kind of hard from what happened in that point in time.
Yeah.
So we have like that was a good learning experience for how we need to just make more records of things, which we have now, which is
Mm.
great. We can roll back data without rolling back purchases you make, so that's really cool. Um, so we're more ready for those kind of situations in the future. Yeah,
Someone asks, are there plans to make an auction house?
maybe
Mm.
that's the big answer there. Yeah.
Let's see. More bank space. Someone's asking for more bank slots, I guess. Uh, let's see.
Yeah,
It's
we can look into that. We just need to make sure that the items fit in the data store, like the 1,000 item person mentioned earlier. Um, so I think we want to increase that though, especially because it's shared across all your accounts.
Someone asks, are there plans for player housing?
Something I think about all the time, but not sure how we want to do it.
Hmm.
We've thought about things like guild halls as well, which is kind of like group player housing. So definitely something to think about. It just has to serve a purpose in the game, like a server that you teleport to and have a house in wouldn't be that exciting because there's not other players around and such. So we would like I like the idea of being able to own a house, but it would have to fit well with the game.
Hmm. Someone else asks, will we get like I guess a change with the guild UI, so like the GUI to look better or more, I guess have more colors into it?
Yeah, we can definitely look into doing something like that. Uh, the UI in its current state is just like its first rendition.
Hmm.
We haven't really thought about making it look prettier or anything. We just wanted it to be usable and work. So there's definitely some things we can do to tweak it up. I do notice that there isn't much color going on, and I was actually planning on making like, you know how there's the points bar between your different ranks, and
Yeah.
it's like a teal color. I was kind of wanting it to be maybe a different color per season, so to speak, but I never got around to implementing
Hmm.
something like that. But it's definitely something we can improve.
Uh,
Yeah, I like that idea of the multicolor. And yeah, the other thing about the UI is that it's really been modified a lot as we experiment with guilds. So like we had guild quests in there and then those were gone. And so once we like more solidify what it's gonna look like, then the
mhm.
UI will be made a lot cleaner.
Someone asks, will you add an ID system to items to find duping, or if that's already in the game?
Definitely thinking about something like that. I know other games like Pet Sim and other games that have trading are really trying to like all sorts of neat ways to prevent dupes, and that's one that's been recommended a lot. So ideally, it's not possible to dupe an item, but sometimes data stores are just really fun. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think we might end up doing something like that.
Someone asks, will you guys considered adding the ability to have keybinds or like rebind all the abilities to different keys?
We actually have the backend pretty much ready for something like that. It's just a matter of the UI and interfacing with the backend is kind of what we're not really running into. It's more like we just didn't have the time to implement something like this.
Hmm.
So, but it's something we've honestly been thinking about adding since day one, because that's how we programmed it to be, right?
Yeah.
So maybe next year we can do
Hmm.
something like that.
Yeah, the big issue there is that we have a lot of menus bound to keys, and then we would just need to make it clean, um, so that you can remap everything nicely, which is a really big UI task because you have to show every single keybind, and then you have to also think about console users, and then there's just a lot of things to think about that make it become a huge task, and then that's why it's always been like, okay, do we want to add remappable keybinds or do we want to add a new class? And then it always ends up, being the content decision.
Hmm. Someone asks, will there be an option to change leadership in guilds?
Yeah, we've actually been running into an issue like this. I think it was last night as well. Alex asked if I could promote him in the guild, but I couldn't do anything like that without leaving. Even if you leave, it's a random person that gets promoted in the guild. So definitely looking into adding this functionality.
Someone asks, any plans to remove the untainable tier 5 pet perks?
That one's tricky. That's like what I mentioned earlier, how the more items we give perks, the more power scaling we're gonna have to deal with. So still undecided on that one because the items are worth a lot. So if we do that, it'll kill their values overnight, but it could end up being a balancing thing. So I'm not really sure what the right decision is there. We'll have to figure out what we want to do. Um, it might end up being what's the most popular with the community as well. If people want those to stay in because they have a chance at getting one, then we can
Hmm.
keep them. If people say no, it's just straight up unfair, those items make those people more powerful, then we would probably want to get rid of them. So I think it would
Hmm.
come down to what the majority of people would want there.
Okay.
Oh,
It's...
real quick, I'm gonna throw in a new code just for everyone.
All right.
Um, and it's out. Have at it.
Let's see. Where was this? Oh, someone asks, when could we see the Christmas Battle Pass?
That's
Uh,
probably that's probably gonna release. I want to say probably we're aiming for Friday, basically.
Hmm.
Same time that we said on the zero weapons. So yeah, we want to make the end of the year pretty awesome. So
Someone asks, are you
Sorry.
guys doing a second World 7 tower? I guess it's that second tower that's unusable at the moment.
Oh, yeah, the mountain course that we talked about last stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out what we want to do there. We haven't actually really discussed it that much since the last stream. We'll probably find some plan for it next year though.
Someone asks, what can we expect from Zero Weapons?
Zero weapons. Okay. How much of this do we want to give away? Should we just give all the details away and then I think that might be the way to do it.
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right.
Let's.
Okay, so zero weapons, the way it's gonna work is you will take it's a fusion system. So you're gonna fuse weapons into the zero weapon, and then to do this, you have to pick which zero weapon you want to fuse. So sword, staff, shield, spear, etc. And then you have to put every tier 5 weapon of that type and fuse them together. So if it's the zero sword, then you're gonna have to get the tier 5 sword from worlds 1, 2, 3, all the way through 7,
Mm-hmm.
and then fuse them. And then the fused weapon will use the average level of all those weapons, and you'll be able to choose any of the 3 perks, and then, one tier 5 perk and the 2 normal ones, from all of those weapons to put onto the zero weapon. So you'll get to basically design the perks that you want it to have, and then it will also have an upgrade limit of plus 20, making them the most powerful items in the game.
Oh, all
You may
right.
have you may have also noticed the nightmare dungeons that we added, reward tier 4s and 5s. It's actually for this very reason, because before you couldn't get a level 100 tier 5 from World 1, but now you can with nightmare dungeons. So this is basically a part 1 to the zero weapons update, and part 2 is coming next week.
Nice.
I think it'll also add a lot of value to the trading economy because if you had a tier 5 weapon from World 3 before, then it might not have been that useful later in the game, but now it'll actually there might be someone who just needs that. And let's say you want to make a zero weapon, they don't have to be made at level 100. Like I said, it uses the average level of all the other ones. So you could fuse together a level 50 zero weapon and then just try to sell that to players. So I think just people are going to be trying to collect these tier 5 weapons now. And
Mm-hmm.
before they didn't have as much use, or it was really tied into, okay, do they have the perfect perk that I want? So now you might not have the perfect perk, but you need that item, or it might be an item you don't care about the visuals for, but it has the perks that you want.
Ooh, all right. Let's see here. Uh, Gotta scroll up a bit. Someone asks, could we get a new class that is a wizard or themed around a wizard?
Definitely want to make magic more exciting. I mean, I don't really know what the difference between wizard and mage is. I think maybe one is more fantasy, one is less.
Yeah.
Because right now we have the mage, which is kind of just a very fantasy based with green attacks as a starter class. The elementalist, which is like an element based mage. So we want to improve the elementalist to make them a lot more fun to play.
Yeah.
And then if we do some more advanced classes, we've talked about something like a battle mage. So they'd have a staff in one hand and then a sword in the other hand. So yeah, lots of cool spells that we want to add to the game, basically.
Someone else asks, any plans for a screenshot slash removal of game UI?
Oh, like yeah, like a screenshotter
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I've actually been enjoying. I play a couple of games that have these screenshot abilities, and you can actually tweak how the world looks and even position some things
Oh,
inside the world.
did not mean to click off that.
So, so it's definitely like something that is within our radar that we're really interested in doing. It's just a matter of when do we want to do it, and like where does it fit in with what else we want to do. So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely on our
something
radar.
like this is not really hard for us. We already hide all your UI when you go into a cutscene.
Mm.
Um, so it's just a matter of, yeah, where do we put a button? Because I don't want a permanent on-screen button. So there could be like, um, just in the settings menu, we could add a button that hides the UI and doesn't come back until you hit escape or something.
Someone asks, will the Zero Weapons have their own unique design?
Yes, they
Oh,
will.
do you
We
wanna?
can, yeah, we can show off the current prototypes. They're not fully done, but I think that'd be cool to show off.
Hmm.
Do you have an image of that, Austin?
We have it in the dev chat. Let me grab it real quick. Actually, how do we want to display this?
Yeah,
I
I
was
can
thinking
paste it
maybe.
in our chat. How can you show it though?
Oh, you pasted it? Okay.
Uh,
Here, while we're at it, I'm gonna paste the next code.
I already did the fourth one, Austin, so do the fifth one.
All right. Fifth one is out.
And the sixth one.
oh,
Oh,
nice.
and the sixth one?
Mhm.
Okay.
Someone asks, will you add maybe like a new class such as like a puppet master or a minions where you can summon them?
We've talked about summoning classes. We want to do them because they're really cool. It's just tricky because the mobs are designed to attack you. So if they're attacking creatures that you summon, then it might. It's just a very weird play style, but I think that's why it's fun. So we want to find a way to do that. That would probably be a prestige class if we're gonna do that.
Hmm.
We actually we actually kind of have support for something like this. I don't know if you noticed, but in 2-3, you see two factions of goblins, the red faction and the green faction, and they're actually duking it out in the first area. So it's possible for us to have mobs attack mobs. It's just a matter of how we want the class to play out, basically.
Wow. All right. Let's see. Someone asks, would you guys consider decreasing the guild season time?
Yeah, I think we would. I think right now it's too long, and then once you finish it, it won't. You just won't have a lot to do, so we could be resetting them a lot faster, and then people would just be able to come back. The only thing is we have to make more rewards, the quicker we make it reset. But yeah, I think right now it's probably a bit too long, so we'll definitely look at shortening that. I'm not sure if we want to do that mid-season or not, since we want to have some time to get season 3 ready.
Hmm.
But that season we might do shorter.
Someone asks, are you going to buff the demon class? I wasn't sure if that needed buffed or not.
Um, yeah, like I'm not really sure it needs a buff. You have lifesteal, it gives you health. You can basically tank a lot of things. I was playing with a demon in a nightmare dungeon and he was staying alive very well. I
Hmm.
died halfway through. So I'm not exactly sure it needs a buff. Maybe in damage, but I'd have to look into that.
Yeah, I think with Demon, the big thing that we've talked about is we don't like how it has the mode switching. I think it would be a lot cooler if we just gave them like a third attack that's actually interesting, and then make it either always in multi-mode or always in single mode, whatever people enjoy more. And that way it wouldn't play as weird and it would probably be more balanced.
Someone asks, when would the old aura chests be removed and replaced with the new ones?
This week we're gonna have a new aura chest out. So that likely means we're disabling the old ones. Maybe all of them. I think all of them. But yeah, we're definitely having the new one come out this week.
Hmm. Someone said, do you have a, or, wait, let me go back to it. Are there plans to have a low graphics setting? I think Roblox has a by default, but
Yeah, you'd want to just set your Roblox settings to low. And if you're lagging in towns where there's a lot of people, you can go into your settings menu and change the amount of people that it renders. I think it's 20 by default. You could bump it down to just 5. And then if even that's not working, then you might be out of luck or just have to play at a lower frame rate. But yeah, we're always looking at ways to fix that. I think I found an optimization I can do to pets that'll get like 1 millisecond off each frame. But if you're getting a lot of lag, that's probably not going to be enough for you.
someone asks, any plans to nerf the Kraken?
Um, Maybe I played it recently and I was able to pretty much defeat it, but if people are having issues with it, I can definitely take a look at it.
Someone's asking when will World 8 be out? I don't think that's.
Not sure. We want to do another world of some kind, maybe call it World Zero, and then have that be where you queue up for all of the like really difficult raids and stuff. Um, but not sure what the timeline is on that quite yet.
Let's see. What's a question I haven't already asked? When is World Zero happening? Like the Zero World?
No idea. It'll be sometime next year. Just not sure if it's going to be January, February, March, or whatnot first.
Oh, here's a good one. Someone asks, will there be like a two-person mount?
Probably not. Yeah, I'm not thinking there will be. That's a kind of a cool idea though, but I don't know. It would be really difficult to implement for a couple of reasons, but it is an interesting idea.
Someone asks, will you add customization options for World Zero pets?
I think we got this one before, like
Yeah.
equipping accessories to them. I think that's a cool idea that we could. There's nothing really stopping us from it doing that unless the accessories just didn't fit well on the pet. But yeah, I think when we're looking at doing outfits and all that kind of stuff, then that's something we'll want to do.
Someone asks, will there be more, I guess, storylines in World Zero? I do know, like, on the first world, it kind of had, like, a little bit of a theme following it. And people are asking, will there be, like, more of that?
Yeah, so we were actually talking the other day about upgrading that World 1 first mission and adding a little more backstory into it just to kind of tie the game together. So that's definitely something we're thinking about, especially as we look at adding World Zero, Zero Weapons, how to sort of just tie everything together. So, yes, is the answer.
Someone asks, will the archer be, I guess, fit for zero weapons? Since a lot of people are saying there's not really that many tiers of tier fives of them on lower floors or worlds.
Yeah, that's
Good
definitely on
question.
our radar because if you don't have an archer or a bow in World 1 that's tier 5, you can't make a zero weapon. So it's definitely something that we need to add in. But I don't know if we're going to be able to add it in when we release zero weapons.
Yeah, so we might have zero weapons released with like some of the weapons, and then if we need to add a bunch of things for a class like demon, archer, or dragoon to all the worlds, then we're just gonna add those in after, and then release those weapons as a patch or individual patches. So that's pretty much what we're gonna do there. We thought
Hmm.
about maybe just making it so you only need like four, but then it really unbalances everything because other classes had to get seven.
Someone asks, any chance we could get a global chat option for guilds so we could communicate from different servers?
Definitely an interesting idea. As far as I'm aware, we're not really coming anywhere close to throttling messaging service, which is something that we would use for something like this. I think it's possible. It would be really cool to have a group chat with just your guild.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we can definitely do something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it would be it might be like delayed response time, like the chats might come through like 10 seconds late, but I don't
mm,
see any reason we couldn't. It could be more just like a constant group wall type thing that's going on.
yeah.
So when you join the game, you just see the last 10 messages that people have sent, and those are always stored.
Someone asks, are you guys gonna add more emojis or new animations? I.
Yes, we want to. I've been telling the team we're going to do it for like 2 years. That's why, because we want to make it so that when you sheath your weapons, that you have all of the emotes in your hotbar. So instead of skills, you have emotes.
Hmm.
We just haven't gotten around to doing that yet, because then we need to make it so that you can unlock emotes, equip them, that kind of thing. That's why we just threw them on the hotkeys for now, because we're like, we need emotes in the game, but we don't want to focus on doing all of that right now. So I think we're getting close to a point where we're gonna look at doing that though.
Someone asks, is there gonna be like a rapier class?
Same answer as the katana class. It's the classes we add are gonna come down to what people find the coolest, and then if the weapon type's already in the game, then it'll be easier for us to add. So whenever we're adding a new weapon type, which we'll probably do at some point, we're gonna add the one that people want the most, whether that's a rapier or a katana or fists or whatever people want it to be. It'll come down to what people want most.
I'm getting a few questions here about could we see new hairstyles being added to the game?
Yeah, and we're gonna rely on the community with UGC for that. So we have someone that's gonna set up a whole application process where you can just submit hairstyles that you design, and then if we like the design, we will pay you for it and then add it to the game.
Let's see here. Someone asked, could we see a prototype of the Zero weapons?
I sent you the image if you have a way of showing them.
Let me see real quick. Image. I'm not sure if I could probably, let me see. I could probably try to throw it up on screen here.
If you do get them up, fair warning, these are not in engine, so they might look differently in engine, but it's pretty much close to the same style.
Yeah, and then we might change them up. If there's one that you really like, let us know. If there's one you don't like, let us know, because we've still got a week before we roll these out.
All right,
Absolutely.
the webcam is back up.
Give a second, please.
Sorry about that,
You can drop
guys.
some more codes. Austin, did you
Yeah.
do the
Sure.
8C one yet?
No, I did not.
Okay, I'll do that one. You can do the one after if you want.
Sure, I'll give it like 30 seconds.
All right, add source. So you said these are not from in-game engine, so they look different?
Yeah, they're
They-
just a Blender
yeah.
screenshot, but
Alright.
that's more or less what they're gonna look like.
Here they go right here. Actually, I might just leave them. Do you want me to leave them up or take them down?
Let's see what they look like. I don't see them on the stream yet.
Should be there.
It just shows a black screen, I think. Or on it shows mine went to a black screen.
Oh, there it is.
I could like
Okay,
make it
nice.
small and put it in a corner if you want, or
Yeah, let's do that.
all right. So
Just don't mess with their aspect ratio. You gotta keep them stretched the way they were.
try in here. I think that's probably as good as I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, it's pretty blurred. Usually if you just put it back to what it was and then hold shift or something, it should let you.
Okay, let's see. Uh, Zero weapons. I'm not really sure.
I would just make them big across the bottom of the screen then maybe.
Yeah, I can do that.
But yeah. And then we can drop one more code
Oh.
while we're
I'll just
I'm
cover
still
up
go-
this right
I
here.
still got to do my code. Hold on.
How's that?
Nice. I like that.
All right, so you back up.
Oh, I saw one question. Someone saying black amethyst when. If you're talking about the amethyst night cosmetic, that's actually a part of the daily cosmetic. So you just gotta wait for the day that it pops up, and hopefully you're lucky enough to find it on that day and catch it. So good luck to
or
you.
buy it from someone who got it.
Oh, that's true. It is a tradable, so but expect a high price.
Someone asked about flying mounts. I think you guys went over that before, but
Yeah, flying mounts are they're just not ideal for open world games because they take away the entire point of traveling somewhere and they make it just flying. Like I think the World of Warcraft developers said they regretted added flying. Final Fantasy 14, if you look at that, you have to actually beat all the quests in a zone and then you can get flying mounts, but it's like, why do I care? I'm done there anyways. So I think that we actually added flying mounts to the game. The Phoenix was a flying mount when we prototyped it, and then we realized we're gonna have to make all the maps so that you can fly anywhere, land anywhere. Parts that are really hard to reach have to still have detail so that they don't look bad. So there was just no real benefit for us, so we decided not to do it.
someone asked, could we get a hint on any classes that you're working on?
Yeah, I mean, do we want to give any hints, Alex? It's up to you.
I don't even know if we've really solidified. So if you want to just kind of spew all the ideas that we've had out there, all the class combos as well.
Um, let's see. There was one that was like called, what was it? Like a warlord? And I can't
Hmm.
remember what he had. It wasn't dual axes because that's berserker. Oh, I think it was dual great swords, if I recall. Imagine a dual greatsword
Oh my
class
gosh.
where guys just lugging around giant swords. Can you imagine like if he had a spin attack and his range is like 60 studs wide or something? That'd be crazy, but definitely not like that. But a warlord is definitely like one of the ideas we're thinking about. And then as Alex mentioned, a battle mage where you had a sword and a staff where you can do both magic and melee attacks. Something like that would be pretty cool. Um, and I can't remember the third one, but I think that's good enough for now.
Some people are asking, could we see like a test server of some sorts?
Um, we have our testing world, but it's usually really broken, and we don't want people messing around in it because then it breaks things that we weren't expecting to break.
Hmm.
So yeah, usually if we want to do testing, we'll do a public test, but otherwise we don't really do it since it's kind of hard to just, it's like managing a second game at that point.
Someone's asking why is tier 5 rate on Nightmare difficulty is so low.
So the way we programmed it is that the higher the level of the item, the more rare it should be technically, because it's more powerful, it's more relevant. Um, and if you notice in Nightmare dungeons, they're really low. Like I think sub 1%.
Hmm.
We could tweak it a little bit if we think it's actually too low. But yeah, that's kind of the way we designed it. It's to kind of balance things out. Like the things that are really relevant to like max level players should be pretty rare because otherwise everyone's going to have them.
Hmm.
Yeah, and we'll look at those like under 1% sounds kind of low.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, we'll definitely be taking a look at that, especially as zero weapons come out when you're going to need those tier 5 weapons. So yeah, we'll be looking at the drop rates on those and then trying to make sure that we're not going to make them just give it away, but
Hmm.
we still want them to be rare items, like Austin said.
Gamer Fountain, I guess, really wants to know if you like peanut butter. He's just been spamming it.
do I like peanut butter? I love peanut butter.
Especially in like
Like
a Reese's cup, like
Oh yeah.
those are great.
or like one of those like you put them in the fridge but like it's a chocolate ball and then on the inside is peanut butter. It's like a peanut butter cup, but it's a ball shape and it's really good.
Let's see. I guess someone asked if you guys plan on doing more of guilds. I'm pretty sure we kind of went over that before that you guys were thinking about doing guild halls and capturing worlds.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we're still talking about lots of ideas there, so it's kind of just a matter of the best way to do them. So how do you make people compete for a world? Is it just who does the most dungeons there? Because I feel like we can do something more exciting than that, more visual. So we're just trying to figure out the best idea.
and if you have any suggestions, we do have a suggestions channel in our Discord, which also ties in with our starboard. We read all the starboard things. So yeah, feel free to give us
Even
a
if it's
suggestion.
something that you don't like about the game, we see those on the starboard too. So the starboard is just
Hmm.
a really good way to tell us that we either need something or something needs to not be there.
Hmm.
Both ways work.
Yeah,
Someone asks, have you ever thought about adding a material crafting to the game or any sort of crafting?
I guess.
Uh,
Oh, go for it.
you might have been saying what I was gonna say, like zero weapons is kind of
Hmm.
crafting in a way, especially just because you get to pick the perks that your weapon will keep. So that's letting players kind of tailor a weapon, which is kind of crafting in a way. No plans to do regular crafting where you like mine ores, cut down trees, that kind of thing. Just because the main issue there is usually the crafted items are either stronger than the dropped items or they're weaker than the dropped items. And whichever one is stronger is what everyone does. So if we made crafted items better than dropped items, then all of a sudden no one's gonna grind for dropped items anymore. So
Yeah.
it's kind of just like two competing systems. I think like Monster Hunter World, that game you had to craft all of your gear, and it was a lot of fun because the whole game was about collecting stuff. But I don't think having both in a game works as well.
Hmm. Let's see. Where's it at? There was a good question here. I lost it. Um. Oh, did we already give out the codes?
I don't
I
think
think
we
we
gave
have
out. I think we have
two
two
left.
more.
All right.
Here, I'll give out number 9, Alex.
I'll do the number 10.
Someone asks any plans for adding, I guess, like gothic or steampunk cosmetics.
Those sound cool. I
Yeah,
like
I
the
think
idea of those.
steampunk cosmetics we could do. We definitely lean more on fantasy for styling of like the game overall, but for cosmetics, I think we could.
Oh, here's the question. So someone's asking about mythics. If basically, I guess a tier higher than legendary. If we ever get like a new tier.
Zero weapons might be that actually. So that would be that just because they're going to be able to upgrade to plus 20 instead of plus 10, and then that is better than like the rarest stuff in the game.
Hmm.
Someone asked, are you planning on doing like zero armor as well?
Yes, and potentially pets too. Not this Friday, but definitely want to do it because we have a lot of tier 5 pets, so we could probably make some really interesting fusion based ones where you have to fuse different pets into different like really strong pets.
Uh, Someone asks, will there be like a new tower? I guess that would just be raids then, wouldn't it?
Pretty much. Well, the tower has the floors in it,
Hmm.
but we had a weird issue with the towers where the floors people didn't find as fun. They kind of like fighting the bosses, and I definitely agreed with that. There was too much running going on, so we reduced the amount of floors. Um, Not sure if people like the floors, so if we're gonna go back to that or just go to more dungeons where they're fighting the bosses, which is what people seem to like more. We have thought about doing an endless tower, people have suggested though. And we've always thought, we have the tower tech, it's infinite, so we could just give people an infinite mode and then have a leaderboard for how far you made it. I don't know how we want to do that, but that's probably what we would do if we were going to do another tower. I see
Uh,
there's two paid questions as well in there.
yeah.
Hmm.
One of them is, can we add in staff raids where players who attend get special awards? Happens once a month.
I want to
Um,
assume that they mean like we hop in a dungeon and then they like are in the dungeon with us. I'm not exactly sure if that's it or not, but I mean, yeah, what do you think, Alex?
Um, Not sure. It sounds like something that only a few people would benefit from. I like the idea of events happening in the world, so
hmm.
maybe there's like an hour where something happens, like random mobs are spawning in a world that drop certain things, or something like that, where it's more game wide, and then it happens just for like a short period of time. So I'd be more open to doing that. I like the idea of coming on and giving people items, but I'm worried that we wouldn't do it often enough for it to matter to
Yeah.
most people. So I think something like just events for everyone is always better than really small events.
Someone asked, would you add like a burst mechanic into the game? I think Dual Wield already has that though. What sort of? I'm not.
Um,
Hmm.
I'm not quite sure what they mean by burst mechanic.
I
A lot of
just.
games just kind of have that as like a power mode essentially.
Yeah.
So, um, probably not. And I see they also suggested adding like a support character alongside it as well. Um, that's an interesting idea, but it definitely messes with the balance. So if everyone has a support character, then everyone's like, you have 10 people in a dungeon instead of 5.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm not sure what we would do with that. I always have like the idea of being able to have like a customizable character as a pet that you could put accessories on and stuff. Um, but that's kind of where my head's at right now.
Someone asked, could we get a completely new battle pass theme?
Um, New battle pass theme.
So I think
I,
they mean instead of doing like holiday, Halloween.
Yeah,
What
like
else do
you
we
might
do?
have one for St. Patrick's, I guess. I don't know.
Or maybe like one that's like not even tied with a holiday. Maybe it's just like some crazy event, like I don't know, World One's on fire, go douse the fires, and it's like a whole big battle pass about fire elements and stuff. I mean, that sounds cool, but
Yeah.
I mean, the options are kind of endless when it comes to battle pass. We only just revolve around the holidays because it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to think of themes and whatnot, but
And they're
uh,
every 3 months, so they
mhm,
line themselves up really nicely. But yeah,
exactly.
like this summer we did the summer theme, so that was kind of interesting because it wasn't really tied to a holiday, and it let us just do a lot of open-ended stuff. So I think we want to do more things like that. It just has to be tied to the theme. So maybe next year, instead of like a straight up Halloween pass, we might do like a fall themed pass that has lots of like sweaters and stuff like that, scarves.
Uh, Here we got two more. I guess he meant by the burst mechanic was that I assume like there's some sort of I guess stacking system maybe like if two people use their ultimates it might stack. I think that's what they're getting at.
So we actually, I noticed the word buff and debuff in there.
Yeah.
We actually already have a class that does this. It's the archer. Their piercing arrow shot actually debuffs mobs. And this means not only the archer, but other players can deal more damage on those mobs. So we do have a system like this already in place. It would be kind of cool to see this branch out to other classes maybe, or even future classes. But yeah, I love the idea of buffs and debuffs when it comes to like community gameplay because then you just get like a lot of dynamics going on when it comes to combat.
Hmm.
And I like that idea of if everyone uses their ult at once, it does some kind of multiplier or bonus. I think that's a cool idea. I know like the
Hmm.
Persona games have like their all-in rush type thing,
Yeah.
and that's always really exciting to use. So it would feel kind of like that in a way if everyone used their ult all at once. You do like 20% extra per ult, so you end up dealing 200% if everyone in your dungeon does it.
Hmm.
Something like that could be very cool.
I had a question myself that I was thinking about recently, and that was, could we see like a, I guess, revamp or rework of world events? So, for example, there might be one where a dragon flies around all of floor one or ward one, and you kind of have to like work together to stop it. It'll be like a sort of special event, a world event, where it
So
involves
like
more people.
yeah, so I've actually played a bit of Call of Duty Cold War,
Mm-hmm.
and they have some really cool events that kind of make you just roam around the map a lot. And I've kind of been digging something like that. So a flying dragon where he takes off after like a third of his health and then goes off to a different location and everyone runs over to there. Granted, they can defeat the boss because I know how tough Ignaw can be. Um, but yeah, something like that sounds pretty fun, I'd say.
I was thinking like with
Yeah,
Easter, you could like have, for example, either NPCs or eggs scattered throughout. And if you collect them all, like something, like cool or unique would happen to
No,
players.
so like it doesn't even have to be tied to a
Yeah,
boss.
it could. Yeah, it could just be, or it could tie to a boss. Like you go around, like find certain eggs, and then you fight the like it unlocks a door for you, and you fight that boss. Or
Hmm, that does sound pretty interesting, actually. We'll have to give some thought to it though, because we'll have to come up with some ideas there, I'd say.
let's see. Would y'all ever considered single boss dungeons? I don't know what they
Like
mean about that.
like a boss arena, like
I
or
I think that's what they mean, or it's basically just like what raids will be.
yeah, I mean, we can definitely do something like this. We've done it with the Fallen King, Corrupted Claws, which is coming out pretty soon again, by the way. Um, and I mean, it's really easy. We just got to make the boss in the arena.
Yeah.
Of course, we got to make this boss a bit more interesting. Like the Fallen King, he teleports you, and then he has this crazy attack schematic. But yeah, it's definitely doable. It's just a matter of where do we want to put it and how do we want to introduce it into the game as like its own thing instead of
Mm.
just being an event.
Someone asks, could we see a marriage system into the game?
Probably not. I don't think Roblox would allow that one.
Yeah.
So hands are tied there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're also asking will there be a story mode. So a lot of people do like, I guess, the idea of having a story.
We'll try to add more lore elements to the game, and I think it's cool having like each world has its own theme. We want there to be some story for sure. Um, but as for like more of a single player type campaign, that's never been my wheelhouse. Every time I played an MMO, I would always just skip through all the like walls of text that the character was giving.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, for me, I feel like stories should be tied in more naturally. So I just don't want reading paragraphs. And then you have to translate that to every language as well. And then it just becomes really, I don't think most people want that kind of storyline. So I want to do it through cutscenes or like small hints like that.
Someone asks, will we see like a wave defense mode in World Zero?
We
Um,
already have wave defense in the third tower, and we also have something similar as our second mission, the Scarecrow one, which
Yeah.
people do not like. So I'm not sure.
I guess
I
they
think that it's
wanted. I guess they want as a separate game mode. I assume.
Yeah, I think we've tried wave defense and we haven't found it's particularly exciting. So we probably wouldn't delve further into that since there's a lot of other game modes that I want to try as well.
yeah, like we have like a lot of ideas when it comes to like what we want to be able to do in World Zero. I think one big example is like mount racing.
Hmm.
It's basically sort of this whole batch of playground games, I would say. Something like a wave defense would probably tie in pretty well to something like this. So yeah, it we'd have to give some thought to it, and then of course there's tying in the playground games, but we don't even know if we're going to be doing something like that. Um, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting idea.
Someone asks, will we ever get a ranked PvP leaderboard? I guess, or some sort of ranked system.
If we do like PvP game modes, we could try it. It's probably gonna be a mess just because of lots of factors. So as long as people would be okay with some chaos there, then I think we'd still try it.
Some people are asking, I guess, about a new perk called Luck. I would assume that would either boost your luck on drop rates or. Hmm.
Kind of tricky, but I've seen it in some games like Dark Souls,
Yeah.
but it's kind of tricky to implement something like that. And who knows, maybe it might be a little bit unfair because like you just throw on this equipment and then you go in, you boost your luck, you get the weapons, and you basically get a weapon that you actually wanted.
Yeah.
So it would basically be a booster, something like that. But yeah, it's more about the tricky side for me, honestly.
Yeah, it's just a balancing issue there.
Let's see. A lot of the questions are just about. Let's see here.
But we're at 4:10, so we might just want to wrap things up anyways.
Yeah, yeah, we can wrap it up. Did we already give
Oh,
out that special?
yeah. I don't know if this has actually been announced on the stream, but we have one more code. If anyone has redeemed the passcodes, they might realize they got 100 crystals, but this last one gives out 1,000 crystals. So we'll throw it in the chat in the next like minute or two.
And keep in mind, these codes are one-time use for the entire, like for everyone. So if someone else beats you to that code, then it's not going to work for another person. So if you're saying the codes don't work, that's because someone beat you to it. And that's how we always try and do it, since otherwise people will just not watch the stream and they will just copy all the codes that someone posts in the Discord later. So yeah, these are you have to be quick to get these.
I did have one question. It's not related to World Zero, but I was asking if, or I wanted to ask if there's like any new updates on that sort of zombie defense game that you guys were making.
Yeah, we're still working on it. We're basically just adding lots of content to it. We took a small break just to focus on World Zero a lot. for Christmas to get that ready. But after the holidays, we're probably going to be hiring more people. So programmers, artists, if that's any of you, take note and look out for that. But yeah, basically, we don't want to pull the resources too thin on the other projects since we like these the most for sure.
And someone just said Merry Christmas. All right.
Merry Christmas to you.
But thank you guys for, coming out to the stream and answering some questions. For sure, a lot of us appreciate it. Your time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
Oh, real quick. The 1000 crystal code is now out. So have at it.
oh
That's
man.
probably redeemed already now. In 3
Yeah,
seconds.
like within a second.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could see who got it, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
we have
for
some
having us.
we can look at who redeems codes on the other side
Mhm.
because we used to use it for when we had a bug with the purchasing classes in the main menu. We would give people a class when it didn't work, and we'd give them a promo code to unlock it. But we needed to know if they were lying, if they said, "Hey, that code didn't work," or if like something like that, so we can actually see each code that gets redeemed. But
Oh wow. All right. I think that's really it. That's all the questions that we went over.
Yeah.
very cool.
This was really fun. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, I guess someone just asked about health potions. Healing pets really take that feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of our feeling on consumables. Like, I used to play a lot of MMOs with food consumables, and it basically just meant you spent all your money on buying health potions, and then you'd be battling, and you'd just be spamming your health potion button, and it's like, that's not a gameplay. Just put it in a pet. Like, you have to go buy more of them when you run out, and it's just something to micromanage.
Yeah. But again, thank you guys for sparing your time. I appreciate it. I feel like this went pretty good.
Yeah, this was really fun. I'm glad we gave out some codes, answered a lot of questions, especially from the community, and yeah, it was really, really awesome.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
I'll finally let you guys go.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you very much for hosting this, and we'll see you guys next time. The update is going out Friday, so be ready for tons of new content.
Oh yeah. All right.
All right. I'll see you guys.
See you guys
ya.
then.